So thanks for joining. Hi, everyone. There's still some people filtering in. So just make sure that you just make sure that you have your name as it appears in the PD portal. And although you do not get credit for attendance, we do provide attendance, so they mark you off. So if there is someone with a name that is not reflective of what it's showing up in as a portal in the portal, please do change that. All right, so let's get going. Again, welcome to the PD Coordinator webinar. So today there's a lot to cover. And Krista says, glad you're here today. Krista, do you want to say hello to everyone as we get started? Because you are the PD manager.
Manager of PD Field Services. But hello, hi.
I gave the short version, everyone. Thank you.
Right.
All right, so we're going to get started with the agenda. So we're going to have some TCAL announcements, some updates from the PD centers, the DLPDC and the CPPDC. We're going to talk about new training, conferences, and statewide events. Also the monthly webinar series, test training announcements, if there are any. And we are also going to talk about PD portal announcements and and then have PD coordinator time. So you PD coordinators, get your questions ready, because the PD coordinator time is where we want questions from you. And it's your time. So let's get started. We're going to get started with Deb or Laura.
Hi, Olga. I'll take it. Good afternoon, everyone. Deb Hargrove here, wishing you all a happy holiday season. TCAL is hiring. We've got a number of positions that are active right now. The first one I want to talk about is the Instructional Design Specialist. It's a PD portal position. It's not 100% instructional design because of the nature of what this person would be doing. HR told us we needed to put instructional design specialist. That was the best match. But basically what this person would be doing is to help facilitate the post-production of our recorded webinars, sort of help facilitate that whole process, which takes a lot of work, as well as work with those subject matter experts, our SMEs and instructional designers on new content. So it is open right now. I will post in the chat the link to that position here in just a minute. And our next position should be closing pretty quickly. It's for an administrative associate. This is our front desk person. And this individual would be responsible for our multi-line phones, providing our office support, answering our hotline, and most importantly, along with the hotline, is helping out that PD portal team. Remember, there's a team of 2 only with Laura and Katie. And so we use our front desk person to have that knowledge of helping out with some of those questions that come through the PD portal email or any of those phone calls that we might have come through. And then the third position is the assistant manager of the distance education call center. This is a new position. They've got so much going on that we need some additional help. I'm going to just kind of move on from that and let Michelle or Ashley tell you about that position a little bit later in the presentation. But just know that we're hiring. Please share the information with your folks. We're looking for some quality people who enjoy working in a team environment. We work hard, we play hard. We're a fun group to work with. Back to you, Olga. Oh,
Back to you, Deb.
Back to me. Sorry. Just a little note, a reminder. I think you guys get more time off than we do, but just in case, we'll be closed for the holidays. It's an unusual year, the way that Christmas and such is laid out, but we'll only be closed that week of Christmas to New Year's, possibly off at noon on the 23rd. Generally, what A&M does is a week before will let us know that they're giving us half a day, the day off before the holidays begin. So just know that week between Christmas and New Year's, there won't be anybody in the office. We'll be celebrating with our family and friends, as I hope that all of you are doing. And we'll see you in the new year.
Thank you, Deborah.
Yes, ma'am.
let's continue with some updates from our professional development centers. And first up, we have Joan. Joan.
Hello, everyone. I have our Internationally Trained Professionals, or ITP, webinar series little update. We are rounding up and finishing out this webinar series. And in January, we have ITP Success Deep in the Heart of Texas. And Lisa Carlo will be back with us to discuss common Texas career pathways for internationally trained professional educators. And we're going to be taking those from intake to program exit. And then our last, but certainly not least, webinar in this series is going to be a panel discussion called It's All About Connections. And this will feature a presentation of best practices and a panel of organizations that are established in employer engagement. The information presented here will be the first installment on building relationships with employers and will lead into a part 2 session that will take place at Haley coming up the next week in February. So go ahead and register for these last 2 sessions in the PD portal. And then in January, I will have some more exciting PD opportunities for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Joan. Next up, we have.
Oh yeah, me again. Ha! Hello again. So I wanted to share our save the date for our upcoming Distance Learning and Tech Integration Symposium. I know many of you have attended in the past. We're very happy to say we're going back to Region 20 this year. We had a great time last year, but we're happy to be able to go back to Region 20 next year. It's going to be a 2-day, day and a half. We're not sure how we want to do it just yet, but plan for both days, Thursday, June the 1st, Friday, June the 2nd. Lots of great presenters. We're bringing people in from other parts of the country, hands-on, apps, websites, integrative tools, all kinds of stuff going on. So please, please remind your folks about it, share it with your team. It's a free conference, other than you have to pay your own travel and your food and such to get there. Now, what's going to happen, like we did last year and all the other 6 years prior, we're going to charge the exhibitors a fee. Hopefully, we're going to get enough to be able to provide breakfast on Thursday, probably, and a lunch and snacks, and lunch the next day, and enough snacks to keep you motivated. So please, please save that date, June 1st, June 2nd, Frederick Maples Conference Center. Be there or be square. Thank you.
Thank you, Deborah. And next up, we have Ashley, who's going to talk about the DE Call Center.
Okay, thank you. Move my stuff here. The Distance Education Call Center is open during the holiday season. So let your students know, even if you guys are closed, we will be open. Most of the time we will be closed. Well, we're going to be open 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Christmas Eve. We will be closed on Christmas, and we will be open 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. on New Year's Eve and closed on New Year's. And other than that, we are still here and available to help your students with their technical needs. And like Deb said earlier, we are hiring. The assistant manager will perform managerial work, administering the daily operations and activities of the call center here at Texas A&M. The assistant manager will be working on site. So this is not a remote position, unfortunately. So it would need to be at College Station. So if you don't live in College Station or plan on living in College Station, it's probably not going to be a good fit. But we are looking for a bachelor's degree in applicable field or equivalent combination of education experience. And other things are that you would need to be available between 7 a.m. and 3 p.m. some evenings and some weekends as needed. I will drop the link into the chat so that you have more information. I think Michelle is here. Michelle, are you here?
She
I
is.
am here.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. So many of you, and for sure a lot of your instructors and other program staff attended our training on North Star Digital Literacy. And we have also purchased Computer Essentials by Essential Education for any programs in the states that want it. And we're offering trainings on how to use this great option as well. So the most programs across the states have requested these seats, but if programs opted out, then they didn't receive any seats. If you're not sure if your program opted out or opted to receive seats on Computer Essentials, you can reach out to me. These seats are free, but they don't replace any seats that you already had. So many programs were already using Essential Education. These seats don't replace those. These seats are not in TABE Academy or GED Academy or some of the other offerings from Essential Education. They're only in Computer Essentials. We'll start these trainings in January, and the first training is offered 4 different times to give people choice of when the best time to attend will be. And then we'll do a second training that's like the next level in February, again offered 4 times.
Thank you, Michelle. So thank you to the PDCs. We're going to go ahead and move on to new training, conferences, and statewide events. And first up, we have Paula.
Thank you, Olga. These symposiums I'm going to share with you and you see on the screen were primarily developed for the community-based organizations and the volunteer literacy programs in the state of Texas. But I want to share with you, anyone can come, and there's some great PD events that you actually can get credit for. First up, of course, we have something this weekend that was canceled due to scheduling conflicts. So if you know of anybody, or if you had planned to go to the DFW symposium, that will not be happening on Saturday the 10th. But coming up in February, you'll have the South Texas Literacy Symposium. And that I think will be face-to-face, but they haven't confirmed that. So that's why it says location to be determined. Now, East Texas will have a face-to-face in Longview on March 4th. And the Literacy Symposium for faith-affiliated programs it could possibly be virtual, but that's yet to be determined. But it will be on Saturday, April 22nd. South Plains will probably be a face-to-face in Lubbock, but that decision hasn't been made, but that'll be May 19th. And Eduardo was on our PD webinar, our PD coordinator webinar last month, and said that it will be in Laredo on June 15th, the Laredo Literacy Symposium. One more thing is, if you want to know anything about details on these conferences or the annual conference that Literacy Texas will have, you can use the link that's right there at the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, and then save the dates Monday, July 31st through Wednesday, August 1st of next year, 2023, for the Literacy Texas 2023 conference in College Station again. Thank you, Olga.
Yay, thanks, Paula. And Beth has placed that link, the literacytexas.org/calendar, in the chat if you want to pick that up. And next we have an announcement by Anne Marie.
All right. Thank you so much, Olga, and howdy and good afternoon, everyone. And very excited to talk about this upcoming webinar series. So Train PD is offering a 3-part webinar series, and it is in collaboration with TWC. And I do want to give a big shout out to Heba Tulane from TWC and Maria Morrow, who really helped, bring their passion and ideas and support of this series, which is very near and dear to our hearts. So this is Opening Opportunities Door for All Disability Awareness Webinar Series. And so what we're going to do is the very first webinar is actually going to be in the Teacher Tuesday time slot. So thank you, Krista, on February 14th. And this is going to be disability awareness and sensitivity training. And really what this is going to do is this is going to dig into understanding, just a general awareness and, you know, understanding the different needs of different disability communities, because each one can be a little bit different. And our guest presenter is Justin Romack, and he is the assistant director from Texas A&M's IT Accessibility Division. So we're so excited to have Justin join us. He is very motivational. And so on February 22nd, we are going to be lucky enough to be joined by 3 TWC Vocational Rehabilitation Service managers. And we're going to talk about what are the services that are, what is entailed in vocational rehabilitation services, and how can adult education benefit. We had a webinar years ago, but we felt that it was time to have a new one. So we're going to be joined by Jonathan Mize, Arthur Jones, and Giovanni Turricino on February 22nd. And so to round out this series, we're going to have an Americans with Disabilities Act, an Adult Education and Literacy Programs webinar. And this one is going to update and refresh one of the webinars that we have in the PD portal. And this is going to be discussing what does the ADA have to say about how adult education and literacy programs are supporting adults with disabilities. And that's going to be on March 1st. And we have a disability attorney that's going to be presenting from Disability Rights Texas. And that is a law advocacy organization that provides legal services and training to both disability and non-disability communities in Texas. So I'm very excited to have Angelica Sanders joining us. So stay tuned for registration in the PD portal. I hope to have this all ready to go in January, and then you'll be able to register. And I just want to say thank you. So thank you, Olga.
Thank you so much, Anne Marie. So next up, we have information about Taylor. Denise.
Yes, good afternoon, everybody. So I know this is the perfect group. Taylor registration is open. Presentation, the request for presentation proposals is also open, but we had a meeting, an executive board meeting yesterday, and discussed extending the proposal time until January 2nd to give some people time maybe for a little bit of the break. So we know that the PD coordinator meeting is the perfect place for whatever you have to share. So this year, Taylor, is the future begins with you. And I know when we discuss that, there's lots of new things happening. And my favorite thing always about Taylor has been that it really brings everybody in adult education together and gives everybody a chance to share information and to collaborate. So we're really hoping, oh, thank you. And Dr. Escamilla has put in the link for anybody to do that for presentation proposals. So please share, please encourage people that you know that have great information to go ahead and submit that presentation proposal so that we can have them at Taylor in February. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Denise. So we have some new people in the room potentially. Does everyone know what Taylor is and why Denise is talking about Taylor?
I don't know. Do you want to talk about it or do you want me to?
No, I don't. But at this point, we have our questions and answers. So if you have questions, if you have specific questions about Taylor and what it is and why we're talking about it, let us know, because this is your time to ask some questions. So I'm going to give you a minute. And Michelle says our office will be sending out an email about Taylor pre-conference for the DL leads next week. Yay! And if you do have questions, you can email Denise Orand at denise.orand@sjcd.edu, and that is in the chat also. So any questions, we're going to give you an opportunity to type that in the chat, or I believe that we can unmute if you would like. And Krista says, yes, we do. At least 2 brand new PD coordinators today. Thank you, Krista. So yeah, so if you are wondering what is Taily and how can Taily help our programs, Denise, would you like to share? There is a question. What is Taily and how can Taily help our programs? So it's an
I see some people trying to help me. I see that Beth Ponder has put in the web page for Taily, and that will give you some information. In addition, I see that Lorraine Wada has posted asking about Taily, and it's a good thing that she's asking because we do have regional reps. So if you don't know who the representative is for your area, you can also reach out to them, and that you can find that on the web page and you can find their information. So Lorraine is one of our reps, and they can share information with you. I will say, and I know I'm biased, and so I always try not to go too overboard, but I do think that, especially for people that are new to adult education, it's such a good opportunity to meet other people. I know most of the people that I have met that have really helped me in my work in adult education, it's been through Taily, at Taily. It's just a really good opportunity for you to develop as a professional and network with other people that are in your field, because I know sometimes it feels like adult education is so different from so many other programs. So that's what I'll say. If anybody has a question, you can just email me, or you can reach out to your regional reps as well.
Thank you, Denise. Thank you so much. And Deborah says a big welcome to our new PD coordinator. So thanks. Taily is a wonderful place to network, says Tracy. All right, so let's continue to the monthly webinar series where we'll have Texas AEL Manager Monday, Teacher Tuesday, Tech Intel, and Workforce Wednesday. So let's get started with Texas AEL Manager Monday. So if you're interested in developing a desire to understand, meaning a desire to see things from other points of view, to see their reasons and feel what they feel, join in on this session to learn how, where Dr. Rick Alvarado, he's going to share strategies to help you really listen and seek understanding before taking action. And that's going to be December 12th from noon to 1. So join in on that session. And the registration is available in the PD portal. We also have some upcoming sessions, January 23rd, February 13th, and March 20th. So the January session is going to be Catalina Gonzalez from World Education, where she's going to present the Digital Navigator Model, a comprehensive approach to address multiple layers of becoming digitally included. So join in on this 1 hour long session to explore the Digital Navigator Model. And she's also going to share have you share what your program is already doing and identify strategies to help you build and improve your digital navigation program. So on February 13th, we have 11 ways to retain employees in a competitive market. So is your employee retention rate dropping or staying lower than you'd like? So in a competitive market, finding the best ways to retain employees is more important than ever. So good employee retention is not only saves you money on the hiring process, but it also helps you avoid the struggle of finding qualified applicants in a competitive market where it's difficult for employees to stand out in or join in. So on February 13th, again, Dr. Rick Alvarado is going to provide this session on 11 ways to retain employees in a competitive market. We also have March 20th, the AEL elevator speech, and that's going to be presented by Jacqueline Aguilera, and she's going to present on how to develop a great elevator speech for your AEL program. So we do have some 2023 Texas AEL Manager Monday dates, and we will put those in the chat so that you could save those and mark your calendar. And registration for these sessions is in the PD portal, so join us. Next up, we do have Krista, and she's going to be talking about Teacher Tuesday.
Hello. So January 10th, we have Lessons from the Field, Digital Navigation, Connect to Opportunity. and Catalina Gonzalez from World Ed. So this is a national presenter that will be coming in. And we're actually doing this with the Distance Ed PDC Center. So I don't know if Michelle or Ashley want to give a little more information on this one or just go on.
I don't know if Michelle does, but Michelle is not. I don't know that she's in the best location right now.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. And it says registration available soon, but the registration is available in the PD portal, and you can go there and get the deeper description. But we are really excited about having Catalina join us on this day. And then the next one is what Anne-Marie has already discussed, the Disability Awareness and Sensitivity Training Webinar with Justin Romack. And that is February 14th at noon as well. So 2 very exciting things coming up in the new year for Teacher Tuesday.
Yay! Thank you, Krista. Next up, we're going to have Anne-Marie, and she's going to talk about Tech and Tell.
Thank you, Olga. So tomorrow is December 9th, and we are welcoming back Amber Miller for Flippity Part 2. And I have to share that this was by request. People said, we want Amber to come back and share some more about Flippity. So she will be back tomorrow during the regular Tech and Tell time from 11:30 to 12:30. So register in the PD portal because Amber is awesome and looking forward to Part 2 with Flippity. Next slide. And very excited to welcome Carol Van Diver from Northeast Texas Community College to Tech and Tell for the very first time. And we're going to be co-presenting together to talk about Common Lit. And most everyone on the webinar is either familiar with this website, which is completely free, or has at least heard the name. But there have been some really cool updates. And so we're going to revisit Common Lit, but we're going to put a different spin on this. And we're going to talk about how Common Lit can be used for direct explicit instruction all together in a classroom, and how you can really use this reading resource to help our English language learners, our students with learning disabilities, and also one-on-one tutoring. So please join us on January 20th. And this is going to be a 90-minute Tech and Tell. So please note 11:30 to 1 registration is in the PD portal. Olga, I think. Yep. And so filling in the dates for 2023. And we have March 10th coming up, April 21st and April 28th, and more information to come about what those are going to be about. And we'll put those dates in the chat pod. Thank you, Olga.
Thank you, Anne-Marie. And next up, we have Workforce Wednesday. So our last Workforce Wednesday is coming up next week, December 14th. Registration is in the PD portal, and our presenter is Jackie Aguilera, and she's going to be talking about the Greening of Workforce Literacy Part 2. And so this is taking a deeper dive into creating opportunities for project-based learning and integration and partnerships and material to support that green energy learning and employment and skills in the classroom. So participants are going to be engaged with resources to develop at least one ready-to-go lesson in green energy job opportunities for employment and community change. So join us for our last Workforce Wednesday of the year, December 14th, next week, 12:30 to 1:30. And I also want to share that we do have our Workforce Wednesday dates for 2023. And if I had shared them before, And I just need to let you know that there is a change in September. We moved it up to September 13th because the other date that we had coincided with another event that is happening that week. So again, these are the one new date is in September. So just make sure that you update those. And I do want to share that in January, we have already starting to get our lineup going, and there's more to come. So in January 18th, we're going to have Jackie Aguilera make a return, and she's going to talk about Let's Build Employer Partnerships. And this one is the description is the success of adult education in business is well documented. Worksite-based classes, contextualized curriculum, and internships provide pathways to employment, enrich workforce teams, promotion, and advancement. So by examining several successful models, participants will become better acquainted with how to identify and approach potential business partners, building on existing successful models to build a case for partnership and create an employer engagement plan for your classroom. So that's what we have for January on Let's Build an Employer Partnership. So on February 15th, we're going to have Victoria Hinojosa, Anastasia Tristan from the Gulf Coast Workforce Solutions. And we're also going to have Josephine Sorgui, and she's an immigration law attorney. And on this one, the description states, do the current immigration policies leave you frustrated and confused? If yes, join the Gulf Coast Region Workforce Solutions College Navigators in their attempt to untangle the immigration quagmire as they interview immigration law attorney Josephine Sorgui. And the title is Give It to Me Straight, What's Up with Immigration Law? So this will kind of be helpful for our ESL and for our ITPs potentially. So join us for these two sessions, and there's more to come. And now we're going to hear from Anne Marie.
All right. Thank you, Olga. So just to round out the webinar series, we just always want to say thank you to everybody. And please reach out to us if you have suggestions, ideas, would like to present yourself. We couldn't do these webinar series without you, so reach out to us. And I guess I also want to say happy holidays to everybody. So back to you, Olga.
Thank you, Anne Marie. So we just covered a lot of information about Manager Monday, Teacher Tuesday, Workforce Wednesday, Tech Intel. So do you have any questions? And I'll give you a minute. And Beth has placed a lot of dates in the chat. And Anne Marie placed the 2023 dates in the chat. Thank you. And also Beth has placed some email addresses for us. So please do reach out. And I just want to reiterate what Anne Marie said. We look to you all for expertise and sharing. So if you have a topic that you would like to share with everyone throughout the state, and that's how we do get new ideas, please reach out to us because we would love to have you on one of our webinar series. So any questions? Okay, I hear crickets. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and continue, but if you do have a question, do place it in the chat and we'll be glad to help. So we're going to move on to test trainings and TOTs. So there's a huge list. I think this is Tracy. She's going to talk about Best Plus 2.0, Texas Style Best Literacy, Texas Style CASAS. Are you going to talk about those on this slide, Tracy?
No, I am not, Olga, but thank you. If we could go to the next slide, which has been a placeholder. I feel kind of like a broken record here. Thanks, Olga, for introducing me. This is going to date myself. This TV, if you remember, if you're my age, around my age, you might remember having those big TVs and you had to get the antenna just right, or your dad would say, stand there and hold that antenna just so you could get TV station to come in, or it'd be all scratchy and you couldn't see it. Now that's really dating myself. I feel a little bit like that's where I am with scheduling TOT dates. We're almost there. The one thing I do know is the last week of April will be the Texas Style CASAS TOT. We do have that one pretty well penciled in and almost pinned in. The others were getting there. So yes, Lorraine and Deb, we're getting there. And so I really do believe I had hoped by December to be able to just say save the date, but I'm hoping that we'll do that in January. We're very close, almost have that picture clear. So I do appreciate your patience with that. And we will let you know in January where we land. We're going to have dates in January. So I appreciate your patience. And in the meantime, if you have questions about testing questions or TOT questions, feel free to email me and ask. The reason I'm bringing up the CASAS one and kind of giving you the save the date teaser there is we have had a lot of requests. People have asked me about that one. And so just kind of pencil that in. If your program would need to send people to the CASAS, Texas Style CASAS Train the Trainer event, that one has gotten to be very popular. So we do have those dates in there. So thank you very much. That's all I have to share this time. So have a great rest of your day. And thanks, Olga.
Thank you, Tracy. And before we move on, we're already going to hit a question slide. And while we're on this question slide, I do want to, there is a question, but we'll ask it in just a moment. But I do want to give a disclaimer that some of the Manager Monday sessions that we talked about and potentially some Teacher Tuesday sessions that we talked about are not quite in the PD portal, but they will make their way in there for registration. So just if they're not in there yet, just keep checking back and they should be in there soon. So they may not be there, but they will be. So the question that we have in the chat is, are the TOTs going to be virtual or face-to-face?
Lorraine, that is a good question. We have really gotten used to doing these virtually. It seems to be, the programs seem to like it because anyone in the state can come and it doesn't cost money to travel. And I was having this discussion today with Robin. We were talking about this because, for example, the Best Literacy, we have done that TOT virtually the past couple of times we've done it because of the pandemic. But that test is, of course, given in person. You can't give that test virtually. So it's kind of a clunky thing to do virtually. So at this point, we're planning on doing them virtually, honestly, and maybe we need to step out of our comfort zone and offer some face-to-face. But right now, we're planning to do it virtually. I hope that answers your question. That's kind of our plan for the spring.
Thank you, Tracy.
You are welcome.
All right. Any other questions? I think y'all are saving them for that time at the end. So I'm hoping that you are. All right, we're going to go ahead and continue then. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to new courses, and that is going to be Katie.
Howdy, everyone. Hope everyone is doing well. We have 5 new courses that we have been working very hard to get published. Manager Monday, Understanding Ethics. Teacher Tuesday, free math tutoring for students introducing the Mac. Tech and Tell, Sharing Positivity with PassItOn.org, Part 1. And then the first North Star Overview. And Tech and Tell, Walls Really Can Talk, Part 2. So a few things here regarding the Teacher Tuesday on the Mac. That one is replacing one of our older courses. And anyone who had the older one on their transcript have been notified to complete it within a period of time. The North Star Overview, that's our first one. So we have the other 2 that are slowly making its way through post-production. So stay tuned for those in the new year.
Thank you, Katie. So we're going to have someone share about Teams announcements, but I don't see any after this. So are there any Teams announcements?
Not at this time. You can just move.
We're going to go ahead and continue. And we're here for another question and answer. And Michelle says, thank you, PD Portal, for getting the North Star overview published so quickly. Fast turnaround. Yes, thank you. They are very efficient. So thank you so much. So any questions? So since we are on the Q&A, I'm going to go ahead and move into this is a time we've been waiting for, the PD coordinator time. So Krista, you are up.
All right. I love your enthusiasm. Okay, so I have a couple of slides. So if you go ahead and go to the next one. The next one, this is about training requests. This is just another mention. I had this last month as well. If you want training in January, please get those requests in. We are at this point kind of scraping the barrel, trying to find trainers. And so make sure that if you want something specific, you get that request in. And if we can't get a trainer for what you want, maybe, work with your PD specialist on other dates and such, because we want to make sure we get you what your program wants and needs based on your PD plan. All right, next one. All right. I've had a couple of questions come in about presenters getting PD credit. And this is not a written policy, but guidance from Lori Slayton, who's our TWC manager, sent me this email that simply states that presenters of training do not receive PD credit for the session they are presenting. Recipients of the training receive the PD. The presenter's PD on the topic would have been from when they learned whatever training session they are now presenting. Please let me know if you have any questions. Lori E. Slayton. If you need a copy of that for your records, please email me and I will be happy to forward you that, that guidance. But that's just, we thought we'd bring it up here just as a general explanation and guidance for this one specific thing. And the next one, right? And I should have, okay. So PD plan follow-up. I know we just finished talking about the PD plan, but we have the follow-up template that it will be emailed to you by your PD specialist by December 22nd. When this template comes to you, it will already have the first two columns filled out by your PD specialist based on what you have as your goals and activities that you are going to do based on that PD plan that you have turned in October. It is a little bit early based on the due date. However, we want you to be able to get started on filling in this template for anything that you've already started in the fall, and also so you can kind of forecast what you still need to do for the spring to have the PD fulfilled that you said that you were going to do based on your PD plan. So just letting you know that this is coming soon. So watch your email. And again, your PD specialist will be there to help you with any of the steps to fill this out. All right, that's a lot of stuff. So do I have any questions about anything that I mentioned or anything that you have that's just burning and needing to get out for an answer for today? Yoga. I didn't know we had a fire in there. Any questions at all? And I know I put it in the chat, but we have at least 2, maybe 3 brand new PD coordinators that have been in their position for maybe a month or a month and a half, if that long. So welcome here. And I know a lot of this is probably clear as mud to you, but reach out to your PD specialist for any clarifications or any information you need. That is what we are here for.
Yay, we have something. Is the PD
Mhm.
plan follow-up just as a reminder to start working on it, or is it actually due by some date?
That is an excellent question. And yes, there will be a due date, but we are not announcing that yet. That will come out with as a TWC announcement. So stay tuned on the due date.
Thank you. It's kind of a warning, Lorraine. It's coming. And just so you know, it's coming.
Dun, dun, dun.
She says, thanks. Thank you. Good question, though. I mean,
Yes.
right. Anyone else? This is like your time. Oh, yeah. Denise says, a warning, warning. All right. This is your time. So we would love to hear if you have any questions. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next slide. And it's still Krista.
All right. Our next PD coordinator webinar will be January 12th. And then the next one, February 16th, was adjusted a little bit because of Taylor. So this is a week after Taylor. So that one does not fit our normal time frame.
All right, everybody. Any last minute questions? We've come to the end of the hour. It's kind of 45 minutes-ish. We have covered a lot of information. So does anybody have any questions, or do we need to revisit a slide? A lot of times we have individuals say, hey, can you go back to the slide about the literacy symposium, or can you go back to the slide about what have you? So let me know if we could go back to another slide. I would be glad to do that so that you could capture that information. Lorraine, I have a question regarding PD hour entry into Teams. I have received some certificates with a different date than what is entered in Teams. What should I do? Good question. Different than what's entered in Teams. Oh, could you elaborate? Like, is it a series or is it a webinar series? You can unmute if you'd like. There you go.
Perfect. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So, wrong paper. So one of them has a date saying that the training was taken on November 10th. It was for the contextualized ITP academic and technical language development part 2. In Teams, when I went to find it, I believe the date entered in Teams was either November 9th or November 11th. And I'm not sure if it was a PD portal entry or if another grant recipient somehow entered it in because, you know, it couldn't be found.
Right. Let me see if
Just Lorraine, this is Beth. Why don't you just send that to me and Krista and we will investigate and see what's happening.
Right.
Sometimes
Okay, I will send it to you on the conference sessions page. Is that okay on that template?
Actually, if you with this, you can just send us a copy of the certificate and what you're looking for.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
And that's an excellent reminder that please, if you don't see a session in Teams, please reach out to your PD specialist or to Beth or myself so that we can investigate. Please do not put anything in Teams that is not a local training specifically for your program.
I have a question. Would this one be entered as a CPPDC as a prefix? You know how we put TCAL? Would this one have been a CPPDC? And maybe that's why they can't find it under the right place and somebody entered it? Potentially. Anyway, That's just a thought, because Lorraine Romero says, could all the ITP dates be input for Teams? And I believe that they should already be there. But Krista,
Yes, everything should already be in there.
And so Lorraine, this Tracy, what are you taught? There's a lot of ITP webinars that have been going on, and there was the ITP TOT. What are you referring to specifically?
So I was just trying to enter everybody's hours. Oh, wait, wrong Lorraine, sorry.
Yeah.
Here's two of us, I'm sorry. I think that was for Lorraine Romero.
oh, she says session 1
Right.
to 5. Was this the TOT?
The TOT, yeah.
Oh, I don't believe it was the TOT. These were just regular sessions. One of them took place earlier today, session number 5, I think.
Okay.
Oh, okay, those are the CPPDC, the synergy. So,
Hmm.
do we know how those were entered into Teams? That, I think that's what the deal is.
We will have to look this
That's
up
a
and
good question.
Okay,
and get
the
back to
Lorraines.
people individually.
Okay, I think those are the two sessions. So Lorraine and Lorraine, more to come from Beth and Krista.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So thank you for the questions. And again, that is why we are here. Oh,
Mhm.
S.E. Lopez says, hi, how many PD hours are required? Ooh, where can we direct S.E. Lopez? That is a great question. Thank you for asking. Now we're talking.
Let's see, this Mr. Lopez, right? Region 1? New person? Okay, excellent. So your PD specialist is Olga Demina, and she can work with you on how many PD hours are required. But there is a, if somebody can find the link to on the website for the qualifications and PD hours, it depends on who and what your position is for how many PD hours are required and what kind of PD hours.
Krista,
So
Beth has
there's-
clicked that link. Fast Draw Beth has placed that link in.
Wow, Beth.
Perfect. Yes. So that link right there tells you everything that you need to know as far as how many PD hours, by when, and all of that. That can help you. Ask Draw Beth, yes. But excellent question, because again, new people, there's a huge learning curve, and that's what we're out here for, as Olga was saying, is that we are here to help you.
So I'm sharing that on the screen. Here it is right here. See where it says professional development hours? And that is the link that we shared in the chat. So if you want to grab that, you can download
You want to show them where you got that? How you went there from our webpage?
Oh, I just clicked on Beth's link.
Oh, okay.
But I could do that. Just I believe that I can. So if you are at Train PD, you are going to go to TWC, and then you are going to click on someone, anyone. Where are we clicking?
Policy and guidance,
Thank you. And then
and then Texas AEL rules. First one.
okay, so Train PD. We still have 6 minutes. So Train PD, Train PD at TCAL website.
I can enlarge my screen.
Click on TWC. Then we're going to go to Texas AEL, policy guidance, Texas AEL rules. And then we're going to click on the staff qualifications and training requirements right here. So we're going to click on that here, and that'll bring you to this page. So I hope that is helpful. We have the listing right here. So Denise says, are you all going to present a virtual scavenger hunt at Taylor on where to find all this information? Oh, wouldn't that be fun, Denise? Thanks for that. Great idea. Well, we can think about it. Yeah, it is a cool idea, Wayne. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and continue to our last slide, and we want to thank you all for joining. That doesn't mean we have 5 minutes, so if you still have questions, we will entertain them. But our next meeting is January 12th from 2 to 3. So Beth wants to know if you're going to have an app, Denise, for the conference. Denise says yes. And more to come because we're still in the early stages. Just my thoughts. Thank you. So, all right, everybody, any other questions? We have 5 minutes, but thank you all for joining. We had a great crowd today. Again, if you have any questions, you can reach out to Krista at kdmosher@tamu.edu. Possibly, I think I might be making that up, but you can find her email address on the website. Oh, there it is. Yes, kdmosher@tamu.edu. Thank you, Krista. Or to any one of us, and we can refer you to the appropriate individual if we cannot help you. So thank y'all so much. And Sandra says, thank you, great information. So thank y'all so much for joining us. And y'all have a great holiday, and we will see you back in January on January 12th. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.